is that Ireland is not for sale. Our heritage is not for sale. Our future is not for sale. Yes, aye. Right, folks, so I had an older gentleman at a party, I'm not going to name him, reach out to me during the week, and he had a critique for the party. And I'd like to think of myself as someone else to take a pat on the back and a slap in the face at the same time. He told me you're doing something right when you're doing something wrong. But he kind of gave me the idea of the way we're styling the party, marketing the party going forward. How do we condense the nationalist message down into a way that people are actually going to understand that? And one of the things he had to say, which I found most interesting, was the lies that the media essentially talk about us or tell about us or portray us as these evil bedroom dwellers. Like, we're all incels, apparently, even though we have kids and other halves and stuff like this. We're all incels. We're all just these types of fringe minority. They consistently call us the fringe minority. We're irrelevant no matter what result we get, until we're not irrelevant to the point where they can't ignore us anymore. I take great pride, great satisfaction. I'm very careful with the pride, but I do take great pride and great satisfaction in the fact that we are occupying space in the building. Here today, there is an organisation who would not be too friendly to us. In passing, they have said some very mean things to me, but as I would treat them the way I treat the enemy councillor sitting in Fingal, a smile and a wave, and I hope you have a nice day. Rex the head. But I want to say this, I did prepare a little bit of a speech. I'm not much of a public speaker. I'm working on it, I'm trying. But I did prepare a little bit of a speech based on those little few lies that the media tell about us, portray about us, and then subsequently the masses end up seeing. And then our job is to engage with them through social media, through the doors, to try and convince them that we're not these big evil people. We're just ordinary, decent Irish people wanting the best for our country. So don't fall for the lies and the propaganda that you heard about us. We are not what the mainstream media claims that we are. We are a movement grounded in the belief that the true strength, physical, mental and ideological, comes from discipline, unity and a commitment to the well-being of the Irish people. Our mission is very simple: to protect Ireland's future, foster prosperity and build a stronger, healthier nation, starting with the youth. And that's why I always put an emphasis on the youth every single time I talk, especially the youth wing. If you are a young flint and you feel like ideologically trapped, you're surrounded in skill by all these other people who don't share your beliefs but necessarily putting you down, nationalpark.ie/join, the youth wing is there for you. Our focus is squarely on the Irish people and their fundamental needs: employment, housing, healthcare, education, an overall system that benefits them and them alone. These aren't just promises, they are the foundation of our commitment as the National Party to a better, healthier Ireland. Our aim is to ensure that every Irish man, woman and child has the opportunity to thrive, and we will work tirelessly to create an environment that supports growth in every aspect of Irish life. Ireland's future depends on ensuring our resources, our culture and our heritage remain in the hands of Irish people. We recognise as the National Party that the prosperity of the nation is built on the strength of the people and the businesses and the industries by fostering an environment where Irish businesses can thrive. That question came from the floor. We will create more opportunities for our people, resulting in a vibrant economy rooted in hard work and dedication, something that communists simply cannot understand. This isn't about hollow promises. It's about empowering the Irish people to create and to sustain their own future. The heart of our nation lies in our identity. We will defend Ireland's culture and heritage, ensuring that our traditions are not lost in the face of globalisation. We'll encourage the next generation to connect with their roots, to embrace their history, to embrace the very fibre of their being, what it means to be a Gael. Everyone in the room understands it. The blood coursing through your veins has been handed down from generation to generation. That means something to us. It might not mean anything to the internationalist who wants to mix us all into one single human entity that we can be whipped and just told what to do and when to do it. Through this, we strengthen not only our bodies, but our resolve to safeguard the future of Ireland. These are values that made Ireland great. Through this, we strengthen not only our bodies, but also our resolve to safeguard the future of Ireland. The future of Ireland rests in the hands of the youth, and that's why our approach is focused on the youth. We are building a network of like-minded, determined individuals ready to take action, to lift weights, to run, and to get into nature. These activities strengthen both our bodies and our minds, forming the backbone of a generation prepared to challenge the status quo and secure a brighter, more independent future for Ireland. We are a movement driven by action, not words, and we will not rest until real change is achieved. We are here to make a stand, and we will never compromise on our principles. Together, we will create a nation that values strength, both physical and ideological, and that fosters prosperity for every Irish person. The National Party stands for a strong Ireland, a nation built on disciplined unity and an unbreakable will of its people. But we must also remember why we're here today. The forces that threaten Ireland are not new. They have reappeared in different forms throughout history, disguised as promises of peace, prosperity and progress. But our ancestors saw through the lies, and so must we. We've resisted foreign powers for centuries. The English Crown's attempt to erase us as a people, the brutal occupation that we endured. We faced wars and a so-called famine on Gorta Moor, the Great Hunger, starvation, genocided from our own lands, scattered to the four corners of the earth. Don't tell us about struggle. We know about struggle. We faced wars and genocide, yet we have remained proud and we have remained a proud and unbroken people. Today, however, the threat that we face is more subtle. It is the complacency sown into our hearts, the acceptance of a world that seeks to erase our identity, our sovereignty and our very future. We are told to forget the struggles of our ancestors, that the fight for Irish freedom is outdated. I want nothing to do with a backwards looking idea of sovereignty, and I want nothing to do with a traitor. Yeah.
Don't call him Little Mickey for nothing.
That the fight for Irish freedom is outdated. That we must simply accept our place in a global system that diminishes us. But this is not the Irish way. We're not a people who sit idly by while our identity is erased, our rights are stripped and our future is sold off. We must rise again, as our ancestors did, and claim what is ours. The fight for Irish independence and Irish sovereignty is far from over. It has merely changed form and evolved over the centuries have passed. We now inherit that task. The forces that threaten us today are driven by greed, arrogance and the desire to dictate our future. They want us to believe that our time has passed. They want us to accept our hollow promises, to think we have nothing left to fight for. But we will not be placated. We will not allow Ireland to be sold off. And we will definitely not allow our heritage to be erased. Our fight is not just for ourselves, but for the future generations of Ireland, so they may live freely and proudly in their own land. We will not allow complacency to take hold. The time for change is now. Ireland will be free, and we will ensure that it is. As the National Party, as one political entity that operates in the political but also very fundamentally in the sociological side of things on the community building aspect, we are very rightfully the protectors of the nation, the protectors of the community. That's what we are. And we are going to build a nation that values strength, unity and will foster the unbreakable will of the Irish people. And my message to the globalists and to the traitors sitting in the room beside me is that Ireland is not for sale. Our heritage is not for sale. Our future is not for sale. Yes, all right.